Okay. All right. Good morning, Co-Banker George. I hope you had a nice weekend and happy Chinese New Year. 恭喜发财. Thanks for those who attended the Chinese ceremony in Alhambra office on Thursday. It was quite a turnout, and everybody was happy, especially with the red envelope, right? And and also we had a gathering in our Arcadia office too on Friday, and there was a very good turnout. Also, we have more than 30 people with the potluck, and they come in, everybody greet each other and exchange red envelopes, and that was good. And this is the year of the snake, and as you know, the snake is known for the intelligence, resourcefulness, and also it pair with the wood elements of the universe. So and the wood is connected to the real estate, right? So the idea of the snake should be good for real estate, and that's what I hope. That's what the Feng Shui master told me, and we should have a good year in real estate. But we're not totally out of the woods. There's a lot of challenges in real estate, as you know. The interest rate is still high, inflation is still high, and the inventory is still not optimal. And the insurance crisis and all the natural disasters and all that, and the tariff. Remember that Trump just levied 25% the tariffs on Canada and Mexico and 10% on China. So the inflation is surely going to go up, and that's not going to help the real estate that very much. But nevertheless, well, we have tolerated and seen the challenges, and this is not the first time, and it's not going to be the last. So we will have the perseverance and the toughness to overcome these challenges. So as I said, the year of the snake should be good for real estate, and hopefully that will be the case. Okay. Well, with that, I thank you for coming to the business meeting, Monday business meeting, and thank you for all the affiliates that support us. And as you know, the Alpha Moy is going to be our affiliate spotlight today, and she's going to tell us a lot about the escrows and how to handle the entity and also documentations before you open escrow. So it would be a pretty interesting and helpful session with Alpha. But before that, I would like to introduce the other affiliates. Let's begin with Yolanda Arenas.
Good morning, everybody.
Yolanda.
Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody had a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And business is up. The listings are up. So that's a good sign. In spite of the rates not dropping, there's still a lot of buyers out there. And there's still more sellers than buyers. So there's still the multiple offers. So it's exciting. So right now is the perfect time. Prospect. Family, friends, your past customers, your sphere of influence. Go out there, see the people, get the listings. It's a good market. So anyhow, have a wonderful day. Happy prospecting. Thank you.
Thank you, Yolanda. I like your smile, as I always said. Yeah, you have a positive attitude, which is
it's always a good day. Always a good day.
Yes, very good. Okay, next is Nancy Chen from Lawyer's Title.
Good morning, Peter. I'm the snake. I was born in the year of the snake.
Right.
I'm smart, intelligent. Number one, we, like Yolanda says, we all have to prospect, but just want to give you a heads up. We've caught several fraudulent transactions. One was a vacant land in San Dimas. Vacant land with no loan or property with no loan on it are the target. The listing agent never met the seller. They were supposed to be out of state, and they were contacting her. Everything was in escrow. Things are getting done. We need the documentation. We need their driver's license. There was 4 people on title. And when we got the driver's license, Alba Neal's team, we all look at it, and they were really good copies, color copies they sent us, but they were fake ones. So we gave them an offer. They can come in to our escrow division if they can, or somebody that I trust. We do have a machine that can test the driver's license.
Oh,
But
really?
yeah, and now they couldn't go through. The buyer's agent was very anxious. I told her you can't close because it's not, they're not the seller. We'll get a lawsuit. She took the time to contact the seller. The buyer's agent should never do that against the listing agent's advice. Guess what? The seller is suing everybody, including the listing agent. Yep, the real seller is.
Wow.
Okay, so it's not, when we tell you something is wrong, I want to make the money, escrow wants to make the money, and that one day when I told everybody these licenses were forged, all hell broke loose. Okay, so I was getting like 10 phone calls a day from everybody, but escrow was on my side. Escrow's and title, we work together so well. So be careful. Vacant land with no loan, usually properties with no loan on it. That's the target. So this point, this listing agent never met the seller. They never even have a video FaceTime. They only talk on the phone. So my suggestion, Peter, you should, and Michelle, maybe they should have a video conference before they take the listing. If they don't know the people.
Yeah, that's a good
This is
idea.
the Remax,
know your
a big
people.
Remax property, and the broker now is saying that we need to actually meet the sellers.
Yeah, we should know our customers,
Yeah.
our clients,
Yeah.
I say.
Yeah. The listing agent was approached by these people because she does a lot of properties in that neighborhood. So be careful.
No, I was wondering that escrow was never closed, right? And
Yeah, it didn't close. We wouldn't let it close.
the property was never transferred. But
No.
so what kind of damage does the seller sustain?
The buyer's agent contacted the real seller, and they're very unhappy. So they're suing for no reason. They're not gonna win. But the thing is, the hassle of getting attorneys to respond, to do all that stuff is a hassle for any agent.
Yeah.
So it's just be careful. We caught so many things, that they're fraudulent. So it's so prevalent now.
Yeah. A lot of fraud going on.
Yeah, so I'm here to help you guys, lawyers title, Nancy Chan, to do farming, to look at your property if there's any issues on there. Happy to help anytime. Have a great one. Thank you. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, Nancy. Yeah, May and Nancy is very helpful, and she's very amicable. You all can always call her directly, and she can give you one-to-one help. So if you have any question regarding the title, Nancy is the person. Thank you, Nancy. All right, let's go with Sandy Franco, the First American Home Warranty.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. So Yolanda and Nancy are both right about, usually defer to the title genius. The market is good. It's as good as you're going to make it, right? If you're going to go out in your farm and you're going to walk around and meet people, always nice to have something in your hand so you got something to do with them. I've got the stuff you can carry around, right? Get your farm set from your title ladies. Angie and Yolanda and Nancy will help you. You've got no shortage of people who want to help you. Let them help you set your farms. Get your stuff from me. Go out into your farm. I have door hangers. I have baggies. I got chopsticks if you want to put those in the bags. Get hard candy from Smart and Final. Put that in the little baggies I give you. Whatever it takes. You got to get out there. Your face has to be what your farm thinks is the expert in real estate. And if they don't know who you are, you cannot be their expert. It's almost that simple. If they don't know who you are, it's the best kept secret in real estate. And that's not the business we're in, right? We are not in the secret keeping business. So tell people who you are. If you have a name badge, wear it all the time. I mean, if you're in the grocery store, wear your name badge. If you're in the dry cleaner, wear your name badge. It says realtor on it. right? Or Coldwell Banker George. It shows that you're the real estate expert in that room, and you never know where someone's going to have a question about real estate. Could be almost anywhere. But if you're not wearing a name badge, you are a secret agent. So just saying, I'm gonna put my info into chat. If you need door hangers, I'm out there, I think Wednesday this week. Next week I'm in regional meetings. So if you need door hangers, let me know now so I can come on Wednesday and bring them to you at the office. Have a great week.
Thank you, Sandy. Very good. Thank you. All right. Next we have Frank Delgadillo. And Frank, what happened to the Fed and what happened to the mortgage rate?
You know, I wish I knew everything that goes on, but no matter how forecasters say it, it seems to be a switch on things. So even as early as today, um, I'll call it today, God giveth, God taketh away. The rates started good in the morning and they're ending a little weird. So right now we're actually positive 4 bips. So keep in mind, 4 bips is 0.004 of a cost to an interest rate. So it means it's a little better, but it's nothing crazy. So rates are all over the place. I mean, it's like based on what somebody says, things change around. Luckily, it's looking better than it was on January 14th. January 14th was probably our highest interest rate day, and it's dipped a little better. We're kind of like where the rates are where they were back in December and November. December 13, November 6th. So it just keeps on bouncing around like waves of the ocean. But as we heard from title, escrows are up. Escrows are up, listings are coming up. It's just a matter of now seeing what people are trying to do. And luckily, if it's great agents like yourselves that are telling people, hey, it is what it is with interest rates, it is what it is. If you can't afford it, if you qualify, it is what it is. But if you could do it, and if you're able to do it, take a chance. Take a chance because you're going to want to see yourself. And it's like you want to get a camera on yourself and videotape yourself today, thinking like if it's 2030. So February 3rd, 2030. Hey, remember 5 years ago when you said, oh, rates are bad and this and that? 5 years, 5 years went by and this is great. You have equity, you have home, you have a family, you have legacy. Record yourself today, thinking you're 5 years ahead of yourself, thinking about 5 years back. And then you're going to realize, wow, if you just do those little things, it's going to help you out so much in life. So that's what we got to tell clients. Hey, forecast. If you could do it, do it. That's all I got to say.
So what is the mortgage rate now, Frank? 7% almost?
It's about there between 6.5 on FHA, 6.8 to 7 and an eighth on conventional. It just bounces around. We got to see as far as what's the fine print. Credit, down payment, PMI. PMI is probably another one that becomes an issue nowadays, as much as also homeowners insurance. Homeowner insurance is the bigger talk than interest rates.
The Fed stayed the interest rate last Wednesday. So going forward, you think the Fed is going to loosen up a little bit?
They probably will, but keep in mind the Fed rate affects the prime rate, which then affects HELOC and credit cards. So credit cards are going to go down, yay, from 23 to 22, woo! But then eventually everything kind of hides because mortgage bonds and Fed rates kind of go in their loops. Sometimes they're off, but then they kind of find their way. So let's be hopeful.
Okay, well let's be hopeful. Yes. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Frank. Angie, good morning. How are you?
Good. Good morning, everyone. Good morning,
Nice to see you.
CBG. Nice to see you too. Angie Tang, First American Title. So one of the things that Nancy was talking about was all the fraud that's happening. So the other group that they love to target besides the free and clear properties are properties that are held with elders. So there was a file that I was working on that they were trying to sell this property. Believe it or not, the grandson who lives with the grandmother forged the signature of the grant deed to deed it to himself.
Wow.
And now the poor grandmother is trying to unravel everything. And I told them to call there's a hotline for elder abuse to give that a call. So whenever there is this type of incidences with fraud. Once one title company is notified, at least for First American, once we are notified of a fraud, we let all the other title companies know, because what the first thing the fraudsters want to do is take it to a different title company and see if they'll close it. So for us, we let all the other title companies know that, hey, this property is flagged. It's not a good property to go off of. So if an event happens where they want to, all the other title companies will be already notified. So we have a lot of the elder abuse happening, the free and clear properties. There was actually an agent that called me telling me that her own land got taken away from her, and she's asking for a real estate attorney to help her unravel the mess. So it's a constant thing. This is why there's title insurance, so that we can be the enforcers of these types of problematic fraudsters, and we try to put a nip to it so that it doesn't get everybody involved, and then just all the agents don't want to go into litigation, and it's just really, really sad for the people that have to be victims of fraud. The other thing that I wanted to talk about too, I don't know if I told you in the last meeting, but First American, being the industry leaders, we did set up a portal for any family members that have been affected by the fires, where they're able to sign up and receive up to 5 different documents that they need, if they need it for any type of the claims, instead of having to go to the county to request for it. Because if they go to the county to request, supposedly the estimated time is 20+ days. But now they're supposed to have rushed it. I'm not sure if that's been an effect or not, and if it's been working. But we do have a portal through First American where they can sign up for it. It's free of charge. They don't have to be an agent. They don't have to do anything. They just get their own documents themselves. We're offering that for them for free for all the victims. So in case you want that website, let me know. I can send it over to you guys. You could disperse it and use it as, I don't know, if you needed to, spread the word. The last note I wanted to talk about, because it is the first of the year, and this is a time of year to hustle. So once you start hustling the first of the year, ask yourself this question. What are you doing for your marketing automation? Are you having anything implemented for marketing automation? Let me know if you don't know what that means. Give me a call. I can guide you through it so you know how to simplify and be effective at getting those listings. Because right now it's the first of the year. You need to start hitting the pavement hard to start building the business for the future. I'm here to help you do that and secure it. Angie Tang, First American Title. Thank you, Peter.
That's wonderful. You have the automation that remind the agents how to do the marketing automatically.
It's not just that, there's more to it too. So it's
Really?
yes. So it's one of the
that's
new things
good.
that we're working on. So it's new for this year. So I'd love to
okay.
talk
So
about it.
in that case, do you mind if you come to talk to us
Sure.
at a little lunch and learn, a short
Sure.
one,
Sure.
nevertheless.
Okay.
I think it's a very good idea, because a lot of agents are kind of not lazy, but they're very passive in doing this kind of things. So if you have something to automatically remind them to do so and
Yeah.
do it effortlessly, that will help them a lot.
Okay. Sounds
Okay.
good.
And
Thank you.
I'll get in touch with you for the detail. Okay. Thank you, Angie.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mark, how are you, Mark? I'm sorry for the misunderstanding last week.
No worries. No worries. It's okay.
I hope that
I've been slammed and slammed, but I don't know if you guys missed what Frank just said. It's not interest rates that's most challenging. It's actually obtaining insurance.
yes.
Well, last year, CARB said that about 20% of transactions backed out of transactions due to the inability to get affordable insurance. I anticipate that number to be way higher. So you got to be proactive,
100%.
not only as a seller. I'm sorry, as a buyer's agent, you got to be proactive as a seller agent. In fact, I don't think there has been any time in my career where I've been contacted more by the seller's agent to give me the buyer's agent and the buyer's name to provide insurance. We are able to get a policy 95% of the time. So very rarely we cannot do that. It's going to take longer and it's going to be more costly, but this is the new norm and we got to get through this. A couple of the gals talked about vacant lands and I've been asked by a realtor, like, well, how do you insure that? Or actually, sorry, the realtor contacted me yesterday and said she goes, because the buyer was buying a vacant land, that she advised them not to get insurance. And I said that's a very bad advice, because if somebody comes and slips and falls on that land and sue the owner, there's no coverage. Well, guess who they're coming after? The realtor that gave them that advice. There's policies that can provide liability coverage in the event somebody falls on somebody's land. It can't have a structure on that land. If there's a structure on that land, then we put something called course of construction policy, where if they're going to rebuild and they just have a foundation, and you may have a buyer that wants to buy that and build because the elderly homeowners doesn't want to go through that hassle, there's coverage for that. Again, have somebody on your team that's knowledgeable, and don't speak on something that you don't know about, which is insurance, because it's very complicated and a very challenging and tight market in these days. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate that very much. You said 20% of the escrow fell through because of insurance?
Because of inability, yeah, in the last 6
Inability to
months.
find the insurance? Wow, that's a
Yeah.
very high number.
Mhm.
I thought it was like the 14 to 17%.
You know what? It is over the year, but if you look at just the last 6 months, I'm averaging it up. The actual number is 14.7, something like that.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
But if you do it over a 6-month period and don't spread it out over a year,
Oh,
most of the escrows fell out in the last 6 months.
oh yeah,
because
yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Thank you for helping us to mitigate this crisis. Okay. All right. I think that's all the affiliates other than the Albemarle. Do we have anybody who came in late? The affiliates who came in late, I should say. If we do, please speak out. Okay. If not,
Peter.
what?
Tracy.
Oh, Tracy.
HG
Oh,
Funding.
sorry, Tracy.
Morning, everyone. Morning,
Good
Peter and Michelle and everybody else. Sorry, I didn't set up the camera today, so I think that's why you forget about me.
Yeah, sorry.
So, morning, everyone. First, I want to wish everyone happy Lunar New Year. 恭喜发财. And this is Tracy from ACG Funding. I am a senior loan officer. We are direct lender. And I do want to share a few items. I think it will be very useful to our agents. First is that a lot of people are asking about the fire survivors, like the people whose house got burned. What can they do next? We do have we do collected some informations, and I could pass it out later. I could email it to either Peter or Michelle, or I put it in the group chat as well, because SBA, Small Business Administration, is offering disaster loan, and they offer disaster loan first up to $2 million for business to repair property damage or cover lost revenue. And they also offer $500,000 for homeowners to repair or replace damaged property. And they also, on top of that, they are offering $100,000 for renters to recover essential personal property. So that is the first thing I wanted to share. The second thing I wanted to share is that I work very closely with buyers as well as buyers agents. And what we have seen for the last 2 weeks, a lot of offers got overbid with cash offers. And on top of that, they were there's the people who lost their homes trying to like they entered to this market as well. I just want to share like something happened like last week. Like one of my buyer and agents, like we submitted a very strong offer. And the listing agent called me as well to verify if the buyer is very strong. And normally when the listing agent called us, it's a very good sign. It's a very high chance the offer gonna get accepted. However, it didn't. And later on I talked to the selling agent, and they talked to the selling agent, said the listing agent originally gonna accept our offer. However, last minute, there is somebody came in, they lost their home. So the seller feel like it's more of a right thing to do to sell it to someone who just got their house burned. So be prepared when we are submitting offer, we need to prepare the clients. Now the market is even more competitive because we are already at a very low inventory. So people need to get ready to put up a higher price offer. And on top of that, now there's people like they lose their homes, they enter into this house hunting market as well. So we do offer a few options. We do offer bridge loans for people to get the house first, and our bridge loan interest rate starting at 6.99 for 1 month and 7.99 for 2 months. 8.99 for 3 months. So that is a very powerful tool. If anyone is interested, you could reach out to me. The third thing I want to share is the interest rate. So the Fed decided to not change the interest rate last week, and from the forecasting last year, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac actually adjusted their forecasting. Okay, end of last year, they were predicting a lower interest rate. But however, from the January update, they adjusted their predictions and they are predicting it will be 6 point something. I have to pull out the document to see what is the number. But since Fannie Mae adjusted, we are expecting the rate to be around what we are now. I don't think the rate gonna drop a lot in the near future. So that's all I wanted to share. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Michelle, and happy Lunar New Year to everyone again. I promise I will set up the bid camp next time.
Okay, thank you very much, Tracy. All right, I think that's all the affiliates, and let's go to the affiliates spotlight for today. As I said, Alma Moy from the Moy Escrow will be our spotlight speaker today. And you know, everybody knows Alba, and she's been with the in the area for a long time. Has a Moy Escrow in the Alhambra, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
correct.
Alba. And you know, I love to see Alba in my office. You know why? Because every time I see her, she has a check in her hand that could live into Coa Bank of George. So, so she's like, you know, got you know, a messenger of money to me. So, thank you, Alba. So with that, go ahead, Alba.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Michelle. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for having me. And I love escrow. I have been doing escrows. This is my 46 years of doing escrow. And next week, in 2 days, we're going to be celebrating 35 years anniversary for Moy Escrow. So we're really blessed.
Wow,
and thank you all for,
wow.
you know, helping for me, you know, to be able to say that, okay? I love escrow. I'm passionate about escrow. I dream and eat and sleep about escrow. I just crazy about escrow. And maybe I need to be mentally checked. Yeah. Today I wanted to talk about our office. I speak Spanish. I speak Cantonese, Chinese, and I speak English. And my office also speaks Vietnamese. We are very friendly staff. We're always here available for you and giving you peace of mind and making the clients happy and closing the transaction successfully is our main goal, to make everyone happy, whoever. And today I want to talk about private beneficiary. It's the subject that people really, they don't get to talk about that, but it's very interesting. The most important for private beneficiary is when a seller is carrying back or is financing the transaction for the purchase. There's a lot of transaction where the seller will carry back if they don't need the money, and then they'll charge whatever interest rate. But the most important thing when you pay off a seller or a private individual is that you must have the note, your original note. And most of the time, the sellers or the private beneficiary, they can't find the note. And so I want to tell you what we need to do. Whoever holds the note is an IOU. So if Peter holds the note, then Peter can demand payment, even if the note has been paid off. So we have a lot of transactions where the seller had been paid off many years, but then the seller passes away, the owners, and the heirs find the note 30 years later, 40 years later. They find the note, of course. they want to demand payment because, you know, they see money. So what they will do is they'll go sue everybody, sue the title company, sue the escrow company for not paying off the note. But even though the note has been paid off, but and the owner of the property cannot find proof of payment. So that's one of the things that, you know, makes the transaction complicated. So when you get a private demand and the beneficiaries, they have to sign the demand. So whoever is the holder of the note must sign the demand, because that's, you know, everybody. If one person passes away, then the surviving person will be signing a demand. But then if their spouse, they need to provide their certificates and do the affidavits, death of joint tenants, if it's in a joint tenancy. So that's, you know, a process that has to be completed. And to clear, after the loan has been paid off, to clear the deed of trust of record, you must have a substitution of trustee and full reconveyance and completed and recorded at the close of escrow, at the time close of escrow. If you need to have the proper beneficiary sign, of course, the document. And if a private beneficiary pass away, then you need to find out who is authorized to sign on behalf of the estate. So then that you need to provide the documentation and court documentation to show that there's an executor administrator of the estate. And if they cannot find the note, we'll require an affidavit lost note. It has to be notarized. It's just telling the whole world that you can't find the note, then it's lost. If for some reason there's an old deed of trust of record and you don't find the beneficiaries, you don't find the people who did the sign to release it, then you need to order a lost instrument bond. A lost instrument bond is so that way you get a bond, so the bonding company will issue the reconveyance to the title company. And usually the title company required 2 times the amount of the bond. It needs to be completed, the application, and they'll run a credit. The better you credit, the lesser the bond premium. So if you have not very good credit, then it will be more expensive. So if your loan is for $100,000, you must obtain a bond for $200,000. So usually the premium, if you have good credit, is about 2% of the amount. If not, it could be 4, 5, 10%, you know, depending on the credit of the individual. And so any questions so far?
Okay, Albert, even though if the note is not secured by real estate,
Oh, it has to be
if it's not
secure.
secured with that, then you don't need to do
Right.
all
If it's
that.
not secure, then it's not, you know,
Yeah,
an issue. I
right,
mean, that if they find a note that is unsecure, then they will just go after the individual for payment
right.
into the court. If there's an institutional lender like Bank of America, Chase, Citi, they will issue the demand and they will issue the full reconveyance, the substitution trustee and full reconveyance. Usually now it's taking about 2 months. Within 2 months, I will say to issue for the release. If a note has been paid off, the title companies don't require proof of payment because sometimes the lender makes mistakes and issue reconveyance on a deed of trust that it hasn't been paid off. So it is human error, but it does happen. So what the title company now is doing to make sure if it's paid off within the last, I think 5 years, they will want proof of payment, like a letter saying, congratulations, your loan has been paid off. If not, then you can go to the lender and ask them for the release or a letter saying that it's been paid off in full. Because sometimes the substitution of trustee and full reconveyance is being recorded, but it could be an error. So to avoid that, I wanted to talk about the importance of having a fully executed purchase contract, counter offers, addendums when you open escrow. Because to avoid delays, because what happens is that if it's not fully executed by all the owners of record, then the underwriter will make a requirement. And then you don't want at the last minute to go running around obtaining signatures. And that will definitely cause delays on closing. And when you have a purchase contract, and make sure that you check the mark where it says that, you know, you put the buyer's payment for broker concession. So make sure you have that checked out. And if any notices on the purchase contract, like item number 4 of the purchase contract, whatever items that are marked, the lender is going to ask copies for that. So make sure you have all that fully executed and you have that, because a lot of the times you don't have that, and at the last minute they're trying to issue documents or prior to documents conditions, and the lender will require that. So that will cause some delays on the closing. And also make sure that if you have a TC fee, disclose it on the purchase contract, because now we have to disclose all the fees. We cannot under disclose. We can over disclose, but not under disclose. So if those fees are not disclosed, the lender will not allow us to charge for you. So then, and then you won't be able to collect from the buyer, because once, you ask the buyer for more money, you know what happens. And so that's important to disclose. And make sure that, because now there's so much delays on closings because of insurance issues and other issues, make sure you educate your clients, especially the sellers, because the sellers are very impatient now. If it doesn't close on the scheduled closing date, they want to cancel, or they want to ask for a per diem, which is higher, like $100 a day, $200 a day. And sometimes the buyer don't want to pay that. So who's going to pay that? So I have a few transactions where the sellers just had no patience. Even with the insurance issue, they just want to cancel because they just felt like they couldn't wait anymore. And now the sellers are getting smart. Now there's a lot of tenants who wants to rent the properties. And now they want to take advantage of that market for the tenancy. So they want to cancel the escrow for whatever reason. So don't give them any reason to cancel. So be on top of things. And also, when on the purchase contract, when you issue the purchase contract, if there's an LLC or a corporation partnership, make sure you have the representative capacity signature disclosure, power attorney. It just gives the authorization for either the seller or the buyer, for whoever is signing on behalf, is have the authority to sign for that entity. So that's very important to have that, because a lot of the time at the last minute, the lender will ask for that. And nowadays, if the property is in a trust, the lenders are more concerned. They wanted more details if the person has the authority to sign. And even if the person who is signing is actually the seller, but because it's a trust, they want to make sure that they have the authority to sign. And we don't want to provide the copy of the trust to the lender, because that's confidential information. So that's just too much information for them to have. So what we do is we give them a certification of trust, which complete all the information. We give them as much as we can without having to hurt any, not to have the privacy issue, So that's. And also, if you have properties are tenants occupied, get a tenant staple certificate. That's so important, because later on, after the escrow closes, the tenant will say, "Oh, I have a receipt and I have a deposit of $1,000, $2,000," and that's just something that you don't really need. So later on, because the sellers got their money, they're not going to want to give any money out, and of course, the buyers are going to go after somebody, and they're going to go after the realtor and the escrow. So just avoid all that stuff. Okay. So I always say it is always the right time to sell, and it's always the right time to buy. So if you are ready to buy, just buy if you can afford to. Okay. Don't worry about the interest rate. You can always refinance, tell your clients that. So be positive and everything will fall into place. Okay. There's no escrow that's too small, and there's no escrow that's too big. Everyone is important. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alba. Very good information.
Alba, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
What was that form again that you say we need to get from the tenant?
The tenant staple certificate.
Staple? S-T?
Staple.
Okay.
Yeah, staple. Because the tenant will sign saying that this is the rent and these are the deposits, pet deposit or whatever deposit. So that way later on when it closes, you don't have the tenant coming up and say, "Oh, I found a receipt." And that's usually,
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome, Rebecca.
All right. Thank you very much, Alba.
Thank you,
Okay,
Peter.
now I think it's that we are running out of time with this one. But we have a good discussion from the affiliates, so that's good. Okay, I have a couple of announcements I have to make. I want to make. The first one is that we don't have any lunch and learn for the first week of February. But we do have one on the 12th and the 26th. On the 12th, we have our legal counsel, Brian Smith, coming to talk to us regarding avoiding the liability, avoiding the fraud and the legal issues. And on 26th, we have Christy Kennelly coming to talk to us about the AI, the impact of AI and how to apply the AI for the practice of real estate. It will be a very practical and informative session. So I urge you that don't miss it at all. And I will keep you posted and I remind you of the seminar. And thank you for Yolanda Arenas, and she arranged it for us, and appreciate that very much. Okay, and we have a regular Friday training, and by Michelle. Michelle is going to talk about to us about the commercial, the car commercial, the leases, and also commercial transactions, right, Michelle?
Yeah, I think I'll start out with car commercial purchase agreement, and then the following week I'll do the leasing.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
we'll do the purchase agreement first. Okay, thank you. And as you know, we are consolidating the Arcadia office to our Hambro office. So we are trying to do some transitional processes. And Doug and Michelle will help us facilitate this transition. And so for anybody who has not contacted Michelle and Doug, we need to contact them so that they can assign you a desk or cubicle, or if you qualify, a room in the Hambro office, so that you can move smoothly to settle yourself in the Hambro office. Okay, so with that,
Peter,
yes.
it's Rebecca. Okay,
Rebecca.
if I'm door knocking right now and passing out my old flyers that say Coldwell Banker, do I stop that?
Yeah, it's still valid. It's still valid
Okay.
until the end of the month.
Yeah, March 1st.
March the 1st, we cannot do that. But
Okay,
we'll inform. We'll inform you how to market it after February the 28th.
Okay, I'll be in there today to fill out the form for the new cards.
Okay, sure.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
Okay.
At this time, I would like to call Doug Meyer to tell us what's going on with the Arcadia office. Doug?
Hello, everybody. How you doing? First of all, I'm going to give a shout out to Michelle for helping me so much. She is awesome. Thank you, Michelle.
Oh, you're welcome. Anytime.
So we got a few. Well, I'm real short staffed here today because everybody's taking vacation days. So I'll tell you what I've got. I'll tell you about 3 listings we have. One on Kaufman in Temple City, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Oscar's got the listing for $1,800,000. On Naomi, Dorothy Lee has a lease, 5-bedroom, 3-bath, $7,200. That's in Arcadia. And Trish has got something real special. She has 3 PUDs being sold as one sale. They're all 3-bedroom, 3-bath. Hang on a second here. Let me get back to my text messages. Okay, the 3 PUDs, all in their separate lots. They start out from 2248 square feet to 2523 square feet, and the lot is over 13,000. The asking price on this is $3,754,000 for 3 separate houses in St. Gabriel on a nice street, Benkamp. So talk to Trish about that if you got a potential buyer, maybe extended family or maybe an investor or something. Anyway, Trish is real easy to work with. She's on the call here, and just give her a call. A few sales here we did a lease. Sharon Chow did a lease. Her listing. In fact, these are all listings that have been sold. On Woodruff in Temple City, $3,800 a month. Ming Lee had a listing in Arcadia that sold for $1,180,000. Gary Lee had a listing in Almani that leased out for $3,600. And finally, Suki had a listing in Whittier that leased out for $5,800. That's it.
Okay. Thank you very much,
That's all I got. And anybody that needs help on anything, give me a call. And again, a big shout out to Michelle. Thank you, Michelle.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Doug.
All right. As for our Hamper office, we have 6 listings and 4 sales. So the listing that we have is that we have Christine Fan as a commercial lease. Actually, it's the residential lease of $3,100 per month. And Karina Pang also has a residence in our Hamper selling for $715,000. Jose Rodriguez has a residence listed for $739,000. Nina Shi has a condo in Monterey Park for $675,025. And Dora Leong has a resident listing for $788,000 in Rosemead. Christine Fan again have a resident listing for $980,000. Congratulations to all. And then we have 4 sales in escrow. The first one is the Nada Ramos for $640,000 for residents in Downey. And Nina, she has a condo sale in Monterey Park for $675,025. And Sylvia Rosage has a residence for $730,000. And last but not the least, the Ruben and Sunshine has a condo listed for sale for $415,000. So that's all the listing and the sales of our Hamper office, which is not a good way to start the year of snake. So I think the sales are getting a little bit better. Keep our fingers crossed, and we'll hope that it will continue. Okay, now with that, I know we are almost running out of time, and I would like to just give you a brief account of the market update so that you'll be informed. As you know that you're in real estate business, so you should be really pretty knowledgeable about what's going on with the market, and that way you can tell your client and then you give them a lot of confidence in you and trust you and give you business. Okay. So the overall picture of the market right now is that California already ended the year with a very positive note with increase in home sale reaching the highest level in 5 months, and as you know that the price statewide is going up more and more. It never had it went down any appreciably, and actually for 2024 they have almost 6.5% increase in the price, and the mortgage rate seems still in the highest level hovering at 7%. And also the wildfire and lately in the LA regions kind of give a damping effect on the housing market, and so the housing market will have a slower start than expected for 2025. But nevertheless, we will have some hope and some appreciation in the value of the property. But then because of the inflation and because of the insurance crisis and because of the policy changes in the Trump administration, those are the challenges that we are facing in 2025. So keep that in mind. But we're going to persevere. And when we come to the California home sale, it's a good news. It has a 19.8% increase compared to last year of December of 2023. And although that this still is a far cry from the pre-COVID norm of 400,000 units per month. Right now, the sales in single-family residence in California was 268,180 unit. That's just 268,000 180 units for the month of December. So that's still a long way from the pre COVID norm. But nevertheless, it has increased quite a bit compared to 2023, and that's encouraging. And hopefully, it will continue the trend. You know, sometimes you say that, well, you know, the 19.8% is not really realistic, which is true because you're taking it at the worst part of the 2023, but nevertheless, the last month increase is pretty healthy. The median price bounced back in California in 2024. And as a matter of fact, the average price in California now is at $861,020. And then in San Gabriel Valley, the average price is even higher at $927,000. So for the average medium home, so if you're looking for the drop in the price of of the single family residence, you are out of luck, and actually is projected to increase steadily in 2023. And compared to last year, 2024, the median price was up 6.3% from 2023, which is a solid rebound from the dip of 0.6 in 2023. So it is projected that in first quarter of 2025, the price increase will be a low single digit, and but it will certainly pick up when the home buying season kicks off in about you know, in May or June. In the core, CPI increase is pretty, you know, pretty healthy. It is overall is 2.9%. The core CPI is 3.2%. Although it's down a little bit, but still not to the satisfaction of the Fed. That's why they don't want to decrease the interest rate. So they stayed interest rate last Wednesday when they had a meeting, and so all the interest rate and mortgage rate are still hovering at the highest level in the last 5 to 6 months. And the shelter cost, which is the measurement of the housing industry, increased 4.6% year to year. It's a little bit lower than expected, so that it gives the CPI a little bit of relief. But nevertheless, it is still at 2.9%, which is pretty stubborn. The Fed expected to you know, drop more than they actually want it to be at 2%, which is I don't know whether realistic or not, considering that there's a lot of things going on, knowing that the Trump administration is going to increase the tariff, and so it definitely is going to increase the inflation rate considerably. Okay, and the retail sales up, but it was up, but then come in lower than expected. And across the board, the miscellaneous store retailer was up 4.3%. Sporting good and musical instruments and bookstores up 2.6%. Furniture up 2.3%. And but the notably difference is the building material and garden stores is in the negative territory about 2%. And also the restaurant sales minus 0.3%, meaning that the construction is slow and people are not going to the restaurant as much as before. So that contributes to a little bit slower in the housing industry, and also in the food, you know, restaurant business industry. But the job market continued to be strong late last year, and the outlook of retail sales remained positive for the first quarter of 2025. And also the U.S. foreclosure activity dips for the first time since 2021. And this is good news because, the people are still hanging on to their property. They don't want it to be foreclosed. The reason is because that they still have a lot of equities in their properties, and they're enjoying enjoying the low interest rate. They will lock in the low interest rate. Actually, 60% of the mortgages are below 3%. So why should they change their property? And then also they have a lot of equity. So why should they let the property foreclose? And also it's a seller's market. So if you have a property, you have problems with meeting the mortgage, you can always sell it in the open market and get a reasonable price instead of having to go through the foreclosure where you have to be where the property has to be sold in a depressed price. So for the month of December, 28,632 property in U.S. started the foreclosure process, which is a 3% decline from the prior month and a drop of 6% from the same month in 2023. So that's good news. And nationwide, 1 in every 4,922 properties has a foreclosure filing in the last month of the year. And California has 29,529 foreclosures started in 2024, which is only an increase of 1.2% reported in 2023. But with the home prices expected to rise again, and also the economy is projected to be in a pretty good shape, the foreclosure activity probably will likely to be continue to be stabilized and probably drop in the next 12 months, so which is the good news. So the conclusion is that the inflation is not tame as expected, and that's why the Fed is likely going to put a brake in the interest reduction. As a matter of fact, last Wednesday when they met, they already announced that they're going to stay the interest rate as it is instead of we were expecting them to have a 5 reductions in 2025, but I think that is a foregone expectation already. You'll be lucky if they will have only 2 reductions for 2025 because the inflation rate is still hovering at 2.9 at 3%. They want to tame it to 2%, which is still a long way to go. So. And also that Trump announced to impose the 25% tariff on Canada and Mexico, and 10% tariffs on China, which he announced it last Saturday, which was 2 days ago. But that's it's going to be a lot of fight on this issue. So we have yet to be seen to see what is going to unravel. And also the affordability of the housing continue to be very low, currently at 14%, meaning that only 14% of the people can afford an average house in California, which is very 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 bad because we in America we always valued owning a home, and only 14% can afford to buy a home for the first time. So and that's not good at all. And also because of the fire disaster, the supply of housing is likely to be worsened, and the demand likely to go up. So it will be driving the price of residential home pretty appreciably. As a matter of fact, right now the rent is going to go up, and people are afraid of the gouging, and the government is prosecuting the people who don't take advantage of the situation and gouge people on the rent and on the price of the property. So there's a lot of things going on. And also the material and labor shortage will worsen the situation, and the building process will be very slow too because of the labor shortage, and also the process of going through insurance, and the insurance is in big trouble right now. And as a matter of fact, they already had $34 billion worth of claim, and they have to settle with the homeowners, and you know, that's not a good picture. And the commercial sector will depends on the economy of the nation, but still the situation is still murky, and the future is uncertain. So we don't have a crystal ball, and yet to be seen how the economy of the nation will unravel. So also the insurance crisis put a damping effect on the real estate market too. As Mark said, almost 20% of the deal fell through because of the inability to get insurance. But for as far as the car is concerned, they have a statistic of like 14% of the deal. But although it's better than what Mark said, but it's still pretty bad, you know, because you don't want any deals to fall through because of the inability to get insurance coverage. So all these factors is certainly going to be a challenge for the practice of real estate in 2025. We just have to persevere and wait and be patient, and you know, and keep our composure. And as I said, when there's will, there's way. So we will stick together, and we'll thrive together. Okay. And so that's all the market update that I have for you. So you know, you can tell your client what's going on with the market at this present time. So do you any question? I know that I went through it so quickly because because of the time constraint, and I know that people don't want to get over time on their meetings. So any questions? No questions? Okay. All right. If there's no question, I wish you a very nice week. And I wish you a good week, and let's work together. And you want to call me or Michelle about consultation of the Arcadia office, and want to get a desk or cubicle or room, we will accommodate you. Okay. Thank you very much, and have a nice week.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.